I'm Alessandra Barrett, Senior Content Editor for JOC. I'm at our 2016 Inland Distribution Conference, and I'm joined by Glenn Spangenberg, Senior Executive Vice President for MacroPoint. Thanks for speaking with me today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
With the Hanjin crisis, tracking cargo was paramount in everyone's mind. What advice would you give? What would you say is the most important aspect to keep in mind in that type of situation?
Don't lose sight of the freight. It's easy to react to a situation like Hanjin going under. Reacting is okay, but responding correctly is better. So not losing sight of the freight is the most crucial part of the relationship. How Hanjin handled the freight notifications where the freight is in transit, when it's arriving at the port, they handled it one particular way. But when a business like that goes under and a operation has to respond to that, they really need to find a way to keep track of the visibility and not compromise on seeing where that freight is in transit just to replace the capacity. So finding capacity that is willing to be tracked and traced automatically is crucial.
From your perspective, what is the next thing that we should keep our eye on as far as developments in technology? What's going to be the next change for the industry?
So there's a lot of change going on in the trucking industry these days. And quite interestingly, the trucking industry, transport in general, has somewhat lagged the growth in technology, generally speaking. Well, that's changed now in transportation, and it is accelerating at a dramatic pace. I think we're going to see things like truck automation come into play sooner rather than later, definitely before the general consumer marketplace realizes the benefits of that. I think between now and then, there's a tremendous amount of technology that's going to help make trucks smarter while the driver still sits in the cab of the truck. The technology that's going to make the truck smarter without having to get the driver out of the seat. A smarter, better truck helps people make decisions that reduce the accident rate. Fuel consumption improves, efficiency rises, so I think those things are going to be seen fairly quickly. A company like MacroPoint, what I love about MacroPoint is they've found a way to harness capacity, generally speaking. There's a lot of conversation about driver shortage. The truth of the matter is there are plenty of trucks on the road. The challenge is, how do you harness a truck that you don't really know where they are? And you can't really trust them. You don't know if they're going to pick up the freight on time, you don't know if they're going to deliver on time, and you don't really know where they are between the 2 points. A company like MacroPoint comes into the scene. They completely automate the check call process so that the carrier doesn't have to call the driver, shipper doesn't have to call the carrier, driver doesn't have to call and check in, because it's all automatic behind the scenes. There's no interaction with the phone. There's no application that has to run on the phone. It all runs in the background. So it's seamless, it's frictionless, which the drivers love a lot, and it's better information faster for those who need to know where the freight is at any given point in time.
What are the biggest challenges facing the transportation segment?
The biggest challenges facing transportation is regulation. And I'll say it is regulation for the sake of regulating in the hopes that it will reduce accidents. The truth of the matter is the trucking industry has seen a reduction in accidents per million miles over the last several years. Now that's somewhat leveled out a little bit, maybe even ticking up quite a bit, but they've done a tremendous job with safety. And yet the regulators continue to put these restrictions on the carriers that sometimes are not really well thought out. An example of that is the CSA basic scoring system. Actually was touted as having a direct correlation with accident propensity, but in fact, it's non-correlative, meaning that some of the things that they actually tried to correct did not affect a reduction in accidents. And frankly, it's why the FMCSA took out of the public view the basic scores for motor carriers, because it was somewhat meaningless. If you were looking for what would correlate to an accident, if you could focus on this and reduce this, then accidents would go down. Well, when they focused on it, implemented it, all the fees were charged, everyone paid their dues, and yet the accidents didn't go down. That's regulation for regulation's sake, and not for the benefit of society or economics. And so I think it's really a regulatory environment that we need to figure out exactly what makes sense, what makes safety sense first, and what makes economic sense concurrent with that.
Well, thanks for taking time from the conference to sit down with me today.
You're welcome. Thank you, too.
I've been speaking with Glenn Spangenberg, Senior Executive Vice President for MacroPoint.